evening everyone. Today we are going to see a presentation on temporal databases. So this is the outline. First we will be looking at the introduction to temporal databases, then solutions to implement temporal databases, then the types of times that we are looking at, then the application time period tables and the system version tables, and at last the wide temporal tables. So let's start with the introduction. So what are temporal databases? So basically temporal databases are used for the purpose of maintaining an element of time along with the data in the table. So what does that mean? It means that we have to maintain an element of time, like to maintain the chronology of the sequence or the sequence of the events that are happening. So time period is a mathematical interval basically, which is denoted by a start and end time, and there is no single commonly accepted definition of temporal data. We have to note that, because the temporal data may mean different things in different contexts. Here it means that it is associated with time. So the proposed implementations are, so there were many implementations proposed, which include like introducing a new data type called period. It had the following disadvantages. Introducing a new data type would basically mean that all the database connectivity drivers which are present in the market today, like the JDBC or the ODBC and the .NET drivers, would have to be modified completely and would have to incorporate a new data type called period. And the existing applications which have implemented the temporal data in them would need to modify them in order to change their temporal logic from a 2-column temporal data to a single column. So it would be very slow to adapt that. So what's the solution? So the solution is given by the SQL Standard 2011. So instead of adding a new data type in SQL 2011, they added period definition as metadata to the SQL definitions. So this meant that only some minor changes in the SQL syntax are required and would suffice to add the temporal logic to the tables. So they used a closed open model. So that's important to notice that the start date, the period with the start date would include the start date, but it would not include the end date. So now let's have a look at the types of time. So there are two types of time. First is the valid time. Valid time means that the time period in which the row is regarded correct. So that means, for example, if I am traveling from a place on 15th and I will be reaching on 16th. So that valid time is from 15th to 16th of August. So that's the valid time. As seen is the example 21/8 to 28 to 26. But it would not include the 26. Sorry. And next is the transaction time. Transaction time is the data time period in which the row is committed in the database. So that means the database knows that this data is valid at that time. For example, if I perform a transaction on, let's say today is 28, and it gets reflected in the database on 29th. So my data transaction would be valid from 29th and not from 28. So what are the advantages of this implementation? The advantages are the temporal logic is the same as 2 columns. So no changes are required in the existing applications and no new data type is introduced. That means that all the database connectivity drivers can still work seamlessly with the current databases. So let's have a look at the application time period tables. So application time period tables are intended to meeting the requirement of applications that are interested in capturing time periods during which the data is valid. So basically this table uses the valid time concept, and the user has to set up the start and the end dates. User may also update the temporal columns in the future if the errors are discovered. So this is the syntax of the application time period table. So create table journey, serial number, integer, and this is the syntax. So here we can see that the start date is set as a date which is not null, and end date is set as a date which is not null. And here is the syntax, period for journey duration, start date to end date. So this is the temporal logic basically. So the temporal columns are start date and end date. So let's have a look at an example. So let's say I have a journey from Mumbai to Kharagpur on 15th of July 2024 and the end date is 19th of July 2024. So if I run this query, insert in, so this will be my valid start time and this will be my valid end time. And Next, if I, let's say I change my source to Indore. For example, I am taking a halt at Indore. So if I take a halt at Indore, so I run a query to update it. So this would lead to this table. So my start date will go from 15th July 2024 from 19, but instead of 19, this will get changed to 2016. Like, sorry, 16th of July. And the next will be from KGP to Indore to KGP on 16th to 17th, as from date to date is mentioned. And from 17 to 19, again this data will be valid. So let's move to the next slide. So now if we run this query from to delete the database data, so in this we can see that from 16th of July to 17th of July the data is deleted. So as we can see in the previous slide, we had the column of Indore to KGP on 16 to 17. So after deleting, we can see that that column is striped off. Okay. So now let's see how I can set the primary keys for this. And as we can see in the update and delete query, there are multiple columns which are added for the same serial number. So hence a primary key cannot be a single column, it has to be a composite key. So in our example, we can take a composite key of serial number, start date and end date, as one of the three columns will be unique anyhow. So we can run this command to add the primary key. Also to enable us to now let's have a look at the foreign key. If we wish to add a foreign key, so we have to make sure that the key which we are referencing to is valid during the time at which we are referring. For example, if I am referring to a column in, let's say, a train table which is valid from 20th of July, and if I refer 1 to that, so that won't be valid because my journey is from 15 to 19 and that train is valid from 20 onwards. So that won't be valid. So now let's see how we can query application time period tables. So to query these tables, we have to specify the time period during which we want the data from the table. Rest the syntax remains the same. So we can see that select source and destination from journey where serial number is 1, and we have to additionally mention the start and the end date so that we get the correct data for which we want the data. Now let's have a look at the system version tables. So system version tables are that, as we saw in the application time period tables, the user is in charge of maintaining the columns. This is good for the tables when the user knows the start and the end time. But what about the applications where the user doesn't know the start and end time? Like for example, banking applications which are time critical. So it is necessary that the system automatically maintains the time. So in this, we can see that when we create the table, we define two columns for system generation. We can see sys start, which is a timestamp which is generated always at row start. So whenever the row is created, it is generated as the row start. And sysend at time start generated always as row end. So whenever this data is deemed invalid, this row is generated. And period for system time, which mentions that the system will automatically manage the data with sysstart and sysend using the system versioning. So the insert and update and delete queries will remain the same in this. So let's have a look at the example. So let's say I have a bank in which I have a transaction with transaction number 1 from V to W, and I perform the transaction today, that is on 28th at 6:05 p.m. in the evening. And so the system end will be set to the infinite maximum possible value. Now suppose I perform another transaction which reverses the earlier one. So it will add another with 1 from V to W, which will be from, let's say I perform the transaction tomorrow, that's on 29th. So the start time here will be 2024 08 and 29, let's say 12 am or pm, whatever. And this end will be updated to 2024 08 29 to 11 59 and 59, and this will be now set to the maximum possible value, which is 12 31 11 59 and 59. So this is how the system version tables work. Now let's have a look at the primary and foreign keys. So setting up these keys and enforcing the constraints is relatively simple, as we can see, because the update and all the commands will be executed on the column which is currently valid and not on the earlier column. Hence I always have a unique transaction number for the transactions. So it will be pretty straightforward. Also the foreign keys, the referential constants are implemented on the valid columns only. So as we knew in the application time period tables, we had to ensure that here we don't need to ensure because it will be by default maintained by the system. And we can query, for querying, if we don't mention the time period here, it will just give me the latest one, which is this. But if I mention the time period from 28 to 29, then it will give me this. Else by default it will give me the latest one. So in querying also the syntax remains unchanged unless we want to query for a specific time. So now let's have a look at the bitemporal tables. So bitemporal tables, as the word suggests, it is a combination of both the system version tables and the application time period tables. So the syntax for the creation is the combination of both, and such tables are useful for capturing the real-time changes in the data and the time when those changes were made. So for example, let's say in IRCTC booking system, when we book a ticket, so we mention the start and the end date of the journey. Let's say for example I am traveling from Mumbai to Kharagpur and from 15th of July to 19th of July, and I make the transaction on, let's say, 12th of July at, let's say, 6 in the evening. So the system will automatically maintain the transaction time, which will be the system version table, and the data which I am traveling, which will be the valid time for the journey. So thank you for listening.